Every reality begins with a thought, but not every thought becomes reality. So the question then is, what is the missing piece? Because we've all imagined, visualized, and affirmed certain things, yet sometimes the thing that we desire still feels far away. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process step by step, and we're going to break down how to take a desire from the level of your mind as a thought, and then how we can actually bring that into physical form in the 3D through emotion, embodiment, and aligned action. And if you're ready to move from thinking about your desired reality to actually having it, then make sure you sign up for my newsletter below. The links are in the pinned comment and description. And if you sign up now, you'll receive one of my popular guided meditations for free. So with that, let's get started. So the interesting thing about manifestation, but also really life in general, is that everything begins with a thought. That mental seed that we plant, it needs attention and energy. And on its own, it's not enough to then manifest into life. Neville Goddard said once that, imagination is the beginning of creation. And that's absolutely true. But while imagination and your thoughts are very powerful, they're only the beginning. They're only one step in this manifestation process. Once you know what you want, and then you can imagine it in your mind, we now have to talk about how to take that thought from a thought form and the steps we have to pass through for that to then manifest in your reality. So why don't most thoughts actually manifest? And when we talk about manifest, I'm talking about manifesting in your physical world, in the 3D around you. Most people actually stop at this mental level. Even if they know what they want and they think about it, they don't actually then move to the next step, which is feeling it. And they actually feel the lack. They feel the fact that they don't have it. So their mind says, yes, I know what I want, but their energy is affirming the fact that they don't have that thing or person or place in their life. So really, that contradiction between the thought and the feeling is really why so many desires stay unrealized. Because again, the subconscious mind and reality itself doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you embody and what you are. So whatever you consistently feel to be true, as far as your subconscious mind is concerned, that is the truth. So in order to move this thought, this idea, into reality, the next step is you have to convert this thought into a feeling. So ask yourself, whatever it is, whatever thought you have of what you want to bring into your life, ask yourself, what would it feel like if this thing were already in my life? What would it feel like if I already had the job or the money or the relationship? And then let that emotional state rise up within you. Focus on that emotion, the emotion of already having that desired reality right now in the present moment. And what sort of emotions do you feel? It could be feelings of peace, of freedom, of just happiness and joy, love, confidence, anything. It could be a combination of all of those. But the feeling is really the frequency. That's what we need to tap into, because frequency is what ultimately shapes form and the physical. So once you can remain in this stable emotional state of already feeling right now that you have your desired reality, once it feels natural to you, you're broadcasting a signal to your subconscious and to the universe that reality will then mirror back to you in the physical world. So now there's another little nuance that I want to add here, and that is the art of embodiment. So we talked about the thoughts, knowing what you want, then the feeling state of what does that feel like? Now, to sort of stabilize that feeling, you have to begin to embody the version of you who already has those things. Think about having that desired reality. How would you show up right now? How would you walk? How would you think? How would you dress? How would you interact with other people? Because learning to not only have the thought and the feeling, but now embodying it in the present moment 100%. That is the energetic bridge between the thought where we started and reality, the physical. The interesting thing is, in this state of embodying the changes that you want, you're no longer trying to get the thing because you've become the thing. You've become the version of you who already has it. It becomes effortless. So reality responds to that sort of identity shift, not necessarily the effort. The internal identity shift and that feeling state, those are the most powerful things. But now here's the really amazing part of this. This is the missing link. This was the thing that honestly, in my spiritual and manifestation journey, this is the one question I always had, probably for years. Like, I just could not figure out this thing that I'm about to tell you now. So we started with the thought. From the thought, we then got into the emotional state of how that feels. Then we worked to embody that in our everyday life, in the present moment, always catching ourselves and bringing ourselves back to that. But I could never understand, how is it that from those steps, something in the physical world actually changes? Like, what is the recipe? That always drove me crazy. And here it is. It's so simple. It's like beautifully simple. Once you start taking action from that new version of yourself, the version of you who already has what you want, you don't have to figure out how to get from A to B. All you have to do is continually show up and embody that new version of yourself, grounded in those feelings, grounded in that new you, that new personality. And what's going to happen is you do have to take action. Like, there's no doubt. On the physical level, we have to take physical action. But the more you tap into that state, your intuition will guide you. And trust me when I say this, like, it's happened in my own life. You'll find yourself making different decisions than you did in the past. Because once you're making decisions from this new version of you, that's what makes the difference in the physical. So again, what will happen is you have the thoughts, you have the ideas of what you want. You focus on the feelings of what it feels like right now to already have those things. And now you work to embody that 24/7, catching yourself, bringing yourself back. This is the new me. I'm so grateful. I have everything I could ever want. From that state, and because you're aligned internally, you're going to get little nudges. You're going to get little intuitive senses of what you should do. And you're going to find yourself making different decisions than you did in the past, because your old decisions brought you to where you are now. So you need to make a new set of decisions, which are going to be informed, like sort of guided by this intuitive sense that we're awakening, if we haven't already, within you. So this aligned action, not to chase the result, but to operate from this person you've already become, that's the secret. And let me know in the comments if you'd like me to dive deeper on this specific point, because this is really critical. But for me and others, this was one of the things that I could just not understand. Like, I wanted something very logical and step by step. How do I get from point A to point B? And this is honestly it. You still have to do the work, but you're going to make different decisions. You're going to get intuitive guidance, and your decisions, when you look back, they're going to be different. You're going to respond differently and show up differently than you did in the past. So again, this was sort of a lot, but I wanted to walk you through the process. So we start with the thought. That thought is the seed. And maybe you have many thoughts. You want different things. Great. From the thought, we then move into the feeling. We have to activate that feeling, that frequency of what it feels like to already have those thoughts manifested in our lives. So then from that, we go into identity. Taking the thoughts and the feelings, we now embody a new version of ourselves. We've now created, a 2.0, 3.0, whatever version of yourself you want. That new version of you is the one that's showing up. And then all you have to do, I guess there's two things you have to do. One is remain in that feeling state of already being grateful and thankful. I have the money, I have the success, the car, the house, whatever. I feel it right now. And then when the moment comes to take action and make decisions, tap into that intuition. Because when you operate from that new identity, your intuition is going to guide you in the correct way. So this essentially is how you create a new reality. This is the recipe. And it's not just about thinking about it, and it's not just feeling it, because we do have to do work in the physical, but it's about working through these steps and then ultimately taking smart, aligned action to manifest your reality in the 3D world. So I hope you found this information helpful, and let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a deeper dive on any one of these steps that I talked about in this video. And if you haven't already, sign up for my newsletter below to join our growing community. And if you sign up right now, you will receive a free guided meditation from yours truly. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.